Hello and welcome back to another video. In this one, we are looking at practice number 37. And I'm going to find mine in my workbook. I am going to need some notebook paper to work these problems because they are multi-step word problems. These are very good test question practice problems. You see these kinds of questions on just about every math test that you will ever take. So this is a really good exercise, and I want to take my time and really show you how to do these problems. But I am going to get my workbook ready here. If you hear the paper shuffling, that's what I'm doing, so that I can read the problem without having to flip back and forth so much. So let's take a look. This is page 30 in your TABE Tutor Practice Workbook. And I am going to just go ahead and label this as Practice 37. My handwriting is horrible today. I got a new screen protector for my iPad and I'm not used to it yet. So please bear with me and pardon my horrible writing for the moment. Okay, here is number 1. It says a bag of roasted almonds contains 33 almonds. Ian eats 8 almonds. Then he begins to eat 3 almonds per handful. How many handfuls does it take for Ian to finish the rest of the almonds? Well, the key word here, let me highlight that, is rest. And that indicates subtraction. So I would expect that I have to do some subtraction in this problem. Let me start also by highlighting the numbers. We have 33 almonds. He eats 8 of them. And then he begins to eat 3 almonds per handful. So those are the key pieces of my problem. Now there are several ways you can do this one. I'm going to show you 2 because I want you to think a little differently on both of these. The first way is with one of those input-output tables. So let's start off with he has 33 almonds and he eats 8 of them. So we're going to take 8 of them out of the bag. So 33 subtract 8 is going to be 25. So he's left with 25 almonds in the bag. Now, I'm going to draw an input-output table. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to need. If I need to, I'll add a few more. I may not need all that I've drawn. We'll just have to see how this plays out. So I'm going to call this one handfuls. Goodness, my handwriting is horrible, guys. I'm not sure that this is going to work for me. Input, rule, and output. You wouldn't think a screen cover would make that much difference, but this is really messing me up a little bit. Maybe I'm just not quite used to it. Okay, so I'm going to say on the first handful, there are 25 almonds in the bag, and he eats 3 of them. So the rule is subtract 3, and that would leave me with 22. So on the second handful, put in 22, he subtracts 3, and that leaves me with 19. On the third handful, there are 19. He eats 3, and that leaves 16. On the fourth handful, there are 16. He eats 3, and so there are 13. On the fifth handful, there are 13. He eats 3, so there are 10. On the sixth handful, there are 10. He eats 3, so there are 7. So I am going to need a few more lines. Let's try this many. You can always extend the table. You can always erase lines or just leave them if you don't need them. It's fine. Okay, on the 7th handful, there are 7 almonds. He eats 3, so that leaves 4. On the 8th handful, there are 4 almonds. He eats 3, and that leaves 1. So, we have to be very careful here when we look at our choices. Let me go ahead and continue this one more row to the 9th handful of almonds. Now, in the 9th handful, there's only 1 left. So somewhere between 8 and 9 is where this pattern ends. Now, the question we have to answer, because both 8 and 9 are choices: can he eat all the almonds with 8 handfuls? And the answer to that is no. There would be 1 left. So it will take 9 handfuls, even though the 9th handful is not full. It's not 3 almonds. He will have to do this process 9 times in order to make this work. Now, here is another way, and this is the way I would actually work this one. I wanted to show you the input-output table because that's what they're wanting us to use. But here's another way. We know that he starts with 33 almonds. We subtract 8 and we get 25. Why could I not just say 25 divided by 3? It's going to go, and you can use a calculator here. So 24 with 1 left. So we would have 8 handfuls with 1 left over. And you see that's exactly what I have in this table. We're breaking down, and you can do that with subtraction or division. But in this case, again, to get that 1 left over, he would have to eat or do this process 9 times. So 9 is the answer, and that is B. This is not an easy question, guys. Some of these are very tricky. So read them carefully and make sure you really pay attention. But either of these ways would work just fine to get the answer. Clearly, this division is much shorter, but if that doesn't make sense to you, use the table. There are different ways to get these answers. Okay, number 2. Let me go back and read the problem and highlight what I need to. A group of friends orders 1 appetizer and 6 meals at a restaurant. So I'm just, as I read, I'm going to highlight 1 appetizer and 6 meals at a restaurant. The appetizer costs $5. 3 of the meals cost $13 each, and the other 3 meals cost $15 each. Which equation can be used to find how much the dinner costs? So I'm going to set this up as I've shown you to do using everyday language. So I know that they order an appetizer. And 6 meals. And they tell me that the appetizer is $5. The word and means plus. And I can't just say 6 times something because the meals are different prices. 3 of the meals cost $13. And then 3 of the meals cost $15. So this is definitely one way to set up the equation. Here's another way. Let me change colors. I could say the appetizer plus 3 times, take out that common factor and do 3 plus 15. And I tell you what, I'm actually going to pull this over here because I want to work both of these problems. I want you to see that this is going to work either way. So $5 plus 3 times 13 is 39, and 3 times 15 is 45. And then using my calculator, I can just add this up down the line, and that would give me a total of $89. So let's try it this way. With this one, I have to do parentheses first, so I would get 28. And then I would have to multiply before I can add. So I would have $5 plus, let me grab my calculator. I don't want to even try it in my head. You guys know how I am. I think I could do this one in my head, but let's just be safe. 84. And sure enough, that is $89. So either way you set this problem up, it's going to work. The question is, how did they set it up? So when you look back at your example, or your question, excuse me, they did it with option D, as in dog. They said the appetizer plus 3 meals at 13 plus 3 meals at 15 equals T, which stands for total. So D is the answer, but either way would work. You could solve it with either. They could have just as easily have used the common factor way. Okay, number 3. A library holds a used book sale and sells paperback books for $2 and hardcover books for $3. Janelle buys 4 paperback books and 6 hardcover books. So how much does Janelle spend? So to set this one up using everyday language, Janelle goes to the book sale and she buys some softcover books and some hardcover books. The softcover books are $2 and she bought 4 of them. They're calling these paperbacks, sorry. And that's a plus sign. The hardcover books are $3 and she bought 6 of them. So following the order of operations, I will multiply first. So I have 8 and 18, and then add what I have left. I'm thinking $26, and that is answer A. Number 3 is A. Number 4. William has 63 baseball cards. That's what he has. He buys 18 more, that suggests addition, and puts all the cards in protective sheets. Each sheet holds 9 cards. How many sheets does William use? So I'm going to say, let me put this one right here. I'm going to look at the cards that William has, plus the cards that William buys. And then I'm going to divide all those cards into sheets that each hold 9. So this is essentially what I'm doing. So we know that he has 63. We know that he buys 18 more. So we have to do that first. And then divide by 9 cards per sheet. So on your calculator, let's do 63 plus 18. That is 81. And 81 divided by 9 is 9. So William needs 9 sheets of plastic, protective sheets. So for this one, I like answer C. He needs 9 sheets. Okay, number 5. A zookeeper feeds the ocelots, the jaguars, and the leopards a total of 28 pounds of meat daily. There are 2 of each animal at the zoo. So there are 2 ocelots, there are 2 jaguars, and 2 leopards. That's a total of 6 animals. Each ocelot eats 2 pounds of meat per day, and each jaguar eats 3 pounds of meat per day. So how many pounds of meat does a leopard eat daily? Okay, this one's gonna take some work. I always start with bare bones. So we have 3 kinds of cats. We have the ocelots and the jaguars and what was the leopard? Okay. And they tell us that there are 2 of each animal at the zoo. So there are 2 of the ocelots, there are 2 of the jaguars, and there are 2 of the leopards. And the word "and" is plus. The ocelot eats 2 pounds of meat, and we know that the zookeeper needs 28 pounds for all of the animals. I forgot that. That's important. Each jaguar eats 3 pounds. And then we don't know how many pounds the leopard eats. So I'm just going to use the letter L for the leopards. So we're setting up an algebra equation here. We have 2 times 2, which is 4. We have 2 times 3, which is 6. And then we have 2 times L. And all of that equals 28. And then I can combine some like terms. There's the 4 plus the 6. That's a 10. Plus 2L equals 28. So I'm going to move the 10. Cancel. So the 2 leopards eat 18 pounds of meat. So each leopard, 1 leopard, L, eats 9 pounds of meat daily. So number 5, I'm liking D. Each leopard, 1 leopard eats 9 pounds daily. Number 6. Rosella builds a rectangular garden with a perimeter of 34 yards. The width of her garden, let me go ahead and mark this off. Perimeter is 34. The width of her garden is 5. What is the length of her garden? Using this formula. So let me go over to a clean sheet of paper. Sorry, I think I don't have a clean sheet of paper. Let me make one. Sorry about that. I thought I had plenty of paper lined up there. So, all right, I'm going to sketch her garden. They tell me that it's a rectangle, so it's longer than it is wide. And they tell me that the whole perimeter, that's the whole distance around, is 34 yards. That the width of the garden is 5 yards. So that would be 5 yards over here. And they want us to find the length. And they give me the formula perimeter equals 2 times L plus 2 times W. So I know that perimeter P is 34. I do not know the length, but I know the width is 5. So 2 times 5 will go there. 34, 2L, 2 times 5 is 10. Now, here is the power T. And we know that our length is on this side, that's the variable, and our numbers are on this side, that's the constant. So I'm going to move my 10 over here and cancel. So I'm left with 24 equals 2 times L. Divide by the coefficient. So L equals 12 yards. So for number 6, I want to choose option B. The length is 12 yards. And you can check this. If you plug in 12 and then add all those sides up. So you have 12 plus 5 is 17, plus 5 more is 22, plus 12 is 34. So I know that one is correct. All right, number 7. Go back and highlight keywords for you. A hotel has 4 floors, and each floor has 7 rooms. There are 112 pillows in the hotel. How many pillows are in each room? So I suspect division here because of the word each. But let's organize our problem. So we have floors times rooms that's where I need to start. So we have 4 floors and there are 7 rooms on each floor. That's a total of 28 rooms. Now, still haven't divided, but here it comes. I'm going to take the 112, and I'm going to, the pillows that I have, and I'm going to divide that by the 28 rooms that we just found. So 112 divided by 28 on your calculator is 4. That means that there are 4 pillows per room. And that was the question that we had to solve. So number 7 is D, as in dog. There are 4 pillows per room. Number 8. Amelia buys chew toys to donate to an animal shelter. Each chew toy cost $8, and there is a $3 shipping charge for the whole order. Amelia has $42 to spend. So how many chew toys can Amelia buy? And I think I can put this one right here. We know that the toys plus the shipping cannot exceed $42. It can be 42, but it cannot exceed 42. So it has to be less than or equal to $42. So we know that each of the toys is $8, but we don't know how many she's going to buy. I do know that the $3 is for the shipping and that it cannot be more than $42. So this is an inequality that we have to solve, but you know how to do that. We've got our variable on this side. Variable is the number of toys, and the constant is on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and take the shipping out. We know we have to have that for shipping. So 8t cannot be more than 39. T needs to be alone, so let's do 8 divided into 39. So when you do that on your calculator, it's going to be ugly. It's 4.875. So she can buy at most 4 whole toys. The 0.875, that would just be part of a toy. So I'm going to say that B is the answer, but she would have some money left over. It wouldn't take her whole $45, but she can only buy 4 of the chew toys. Okay, number 9. Ezra orders a television. I'm sorry, let me go back, make sure I marked it. Number 8 is B, as in boy. Number 9. Ezra orders a television that is delivered in a box 4 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 3 feet high. 4 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 3 feet high. What is the surface area of the box? Use the formula. Don't panic on me. Surface area equals the rest of that. Just hang with me here. We can do this. But this is a complicated formula. This is a very good question. All right, let's go to number 9. Let me find a space. First thing I'm going to do is sketch this picture. So let me draw a box. And you can do this with me if you need to learn how to draw one of these. I'll go slowly. So here's a rectangle. You need another one just like it. And we're going to line them up just like so. And then you connect the corners. Actually, for a television box, a flat screen is probably not going to need to be nearly that thick. So let's bring it kind of like that. And then you're going to connect the corners. Those are called vertices. So here's the TV box that comes to the door. It is 4 feet long. It is 2 feet wide. And it is 3 feet tall. So put your dimensions in there. This is length. This is width or thickness. And this is height. Okay, now let's copy the formula. Just write it down. Don't worry about what it's saying. SA means surface area equals 2 times LW plus LH plus HW. Okay, so here we go. Surface area equals 2, and let's make some brackets here. L times W. So in that, I'm going to make parentheses. L is 4, and W is 2. Length times width is 4 times 2. Plus length times height. So I have 4 times 3 plus height times width. 3 times 2, close the brackets. So all I've done here, and it's not easy, I have substituted the values. Remember that word substitute. If you're doing your flashcards, you know what that means. You're substituting a number value for the letter. Okay, so here comes the math part. I know that I need to do parentheses first, and I've got a bunch of them in these brackets. 4 times 2 is 8. And I'll tell you what, let me color code. 4 times 2 is 8. And then I have 4 times 3. You can do that. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 3 times 2 is 6. So you do each of those pieces. You're still inside of brackets. So you add up those pieces. 8 and 12 is 20, plus 6 is 26. And then you have 2 times 26, and you've got your answer. So the surface area is 52 square feet. So I am liking answer C for this one. 52 square feet. And finally, on this page, during the first week of registration for a race, 17 people sign up. In the second week, 4 times as many people sign up as in the first week. In the third week, 25 people sign up. Which equation can be used to determine how many more? That is a subtraction problem. How many more people signed up in the second week than the third week? So I'm going to put this one right here. We are talking about the second week minus the third week. The first week is not mentioned. Okay, and that's going to be the difference, the R. So in the second week, it tells me that 4 times the first week, that's 4 times 17 signed up. And in the third week, 25 signed up. And that is the difference. So here's the setup. I like A for this one. because it's saying exactly what I'm saying. 17 times 4 minus 25 is the difference. And that's all we have to do. We don't have to finish that one. Okay, number 11. And I'm going to go ahead and get some paper ready to go because I know that I'm going to need it. So let me clear this sheet. Again, I apologize. I should have had this already done. I just forgot. Anytime it says word problems, I know I'm going to need paper. And if it says multi-step word problems, I'm going to need a lot of scrap paper. All right, here we go. Number 11. Mateo, Elena, and Lorenzo purchase a gift for their mother, priced at $176. Lorenzo uses a coupon for $20 off, and then the siblings divide the cost evenly. How much money does each person pay? So on scrap paper, I'm going to say that they found a gift minus the coupon, and then whatever was left, they divided by siblings. There are 3 siblings, so I'm going to say it was divided by 3. So the gift was $176. Lorenzo used the $20 coupon. So we are looking at $176 minus 20. That's $156 divided 3 ways. So that is $52 each. And I'm liking letter A for this one. Each person paid $52. All right, number 12. Gary cleans 8 dog kennels at a pet store. 8 dog kennels. It takes 45 minutes to clean each kennel. He has already cleaned 3 kennels. How long will it take Gary to clean the remaining kennels? Remaining is a subtraction word. Okay, so let's set this up in everyday words. We have the kennels that he has to do, minus, there's the minus, the kennels that he's done. And then we're going to divide all of that, I'm sorry, not divide. We're going to multiply by 45 minutes. So I'm going to say the kennels that he has to do would be 8. He has done 3. And then I'm going to multiply that by 45. So 8 minus 3 is 5. And 5 times 45, I'm going to do that on my calculator. 45 times 5 is 225. So he has 225 minutes left to work. So for number 12, I'm liking answer C. Number 13. Landon buys 4 packages of 6 hot dogs and 5 packages of 8 hamburgers. Which two steps are used to determine how many more, that's subtraction, hamburgers Landon buys than hot dogs? So I can eliminate A, B, and C. I know that those can't be answers. I'm subtracting. But let's see what this comes out to be. They want us to say more burgers than hot dogs. And they say that he buys 5 packages of 8 burgers minus 4 packages of 6 hot dogs. Now, I spoke too soon, guys. I told you that we don't multiply or add in this one, and that's not true, because we have to multiply. We have to build those up before we can find the difference. So the first thing I have to do is B. I'm sorry about that. I need to keep my mouth shut until I know what I'm talking about. And then the last thing that we would have to do is F. So the 2 steps on this one. The first thing is to multiply. Remember, the order of operation says you multiply before you subtract. So multiply and then subtract. B and F. I'm sorry about misleading you there. Number 14. Amy and Marvin are driving on vacation. Together, they drive 750 miles. Amy drives 4 times the distance that Marvin drives. So how far does Amy drive? Well, I know that together, Amy and Marvin together drive 750 miles. Who drives the least? Marvin. So I'm going to let that be the letter M. Amy drives 4 times as much as Marvin. So here is the problem that we need to solve. And this is an equation, so I'm going to draw my power T. This is the miles, the constant. And this is the variable. So 4m plus another m, and you can put your ghost in there if you want. That's 5m equals 750. Divide by 5. So Marvin drove 750 divided by 5. That's 150 miles. And remember, Amy is 4 times 150. So Amy did 600. Marvin did 150. Amy did 600. And the question was, how far does Amy drive? So I like answer B on this one. That is a classic algebra problem. Number 14 is B. Number 15. Dr. Downs has 14 men and 16 women in his class. He splits the class equally into 5 lab groups and wants to know how many people are in each group. Which 2 steps does Dr. Downs use to determine the answer? So he or she, we don't know, oh, it's a he, Dr. Downs. So he's going to add the men plus the women. And then that word splits is division. So he's going to divide them into 5 groups. So first, he needs to add the men and the women. 14 plus 16. And then he will divide that by 5. So 14 plus 16 is 30. And 30 divided by 5 is 6. So he would have 6 groups. So the first thing he had to do was add his 14 and 16. Combine all your students and then divide that by 5. So we are looking at D and F for number 15. Number 16. The table shows how the average American worker with children spends most of their day. How many hours are available for other activities, such as leisure and recreation activities? So when I look at this table, I see that the activities listed are sleep, work, driving, eating, chores, and caregiving. And then the hours are listed there. So the first thing I'm going to do is add up the hours that are already taken. So 7 plus 8 plus 2, we're going to add that row up. 7 plus 8 is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we're looking at 22 hours already used. There are 24 hours in a day, so 24 minus 22 leaves 2 hours for other things. So for number 16, I like C. Now we have to know how many hours are in a day in order to solve that. All right, number 17. Candace, Diana, and Brittany are on the basketball team. In one game, Candace scores 8 points. Diana scores 13 points. Brittany scores 3 times as many points as Candace. How many more points does Brittany score than Diana? So let's go over. I'm going to use some paper on this one. And I'm going to set up a variable box. This one is a lot to keep up with. So I'm just going to draw myself a box here. And I'm going to list the 3 women in the box. So I have Candace. I have Diana. And I have Brittany. And it tells me that Candace scores 8 points. Diana scores 13 points. And Brittany scores 3 times as many as Candace. So that's 3 times 8, which is 24. Now the question is, how many more points does Brittany score than Diana? How many more is a subtraction word or phrase? So we want to subtract those 2. Brittany is 24, Diana is 13, and the difference there is 11 points. So number 17, I'm going to go with 11. For me, this is a reading question as much as it is a math question. You really have to pay attention to what they're saying. Number 18. Hazel catches 12 fish on Thursday, 9 fish on Friday, and 13 fish on Saturday. How many fish does Hazel need to catch on Sunday to average catching 11 fish per day. So I need some scrap paper for this one. So an average, let's figure out what that is first of all. We have Thursday plus Friday plus Saturday. And we know that she's also going to fish on Sunday. So those are the 4 days that she's fishing. There are 4 days. So to get the average, this is how you would do it. You would have to add up all 4 days and divide it by 4. So let's take what we know to be true. On Thursday, she caught 12 fish. On Friday, she caught 9. On Saturday, she caught 13. And we don't know Sunday yet, so I'm just going to let that be an F. I'm sorry, an S. But we know that we would have to divide by 4. So let's go ahead and simplify a little bit. I'm going to take these numbers and combine them. We can add those up. So 12 plus 9, that's 21. 31 and 3, that would be 34. Plus whatever she gets on Sunday divided by 4. And we want that to equal, actually, here's what I should have done, guys. Let's move this down just a little bit right here. I forgot completely about the 11. We want that to average out to be 11, and that's very important. I need that piece to solve this. So what I'm left with is a problem. 34 plus S over 4 equals 11. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of that 4. 4 is divided. It's divided by 4. So I'm going to multiply by 4 on both sides. And I'm left with 34 plus S equals 11 times 4 is 44. Then I will subtract the 34. So I'm left with Sunday, she would need to catch 10 fish for that average to be true. So 18 is C. And this is a tough problem. They kind of slipped this one in on us. If you need to watch this video again on this particular one, I would encourage you to do that because these are very common on math tests. We just hadn't seen, I don't remember examples of these. Maybe I just have forgotten. But number 18 is C. Number 19. Sergio reads a 224-page book. So that's the whole book. He reads the first half of the book at a rate of 4 pages per minute. Sergio reads the second half of the book half as fast as the first half of the book. How long does it take Sergio to read the second half of the book? Okay. So I'm going to put this one right down here, number 19. And to show you how this works, I'm going to draw a book, an open book, and there's half of it. So the first half of this book is here, and the second half is here. And the whole book is 224 pages. So that means if you divide 224 by 2, you get 112. and 112 pages and pages. So all I've done is to take my book there, or Sergio's book, and divide it in half. We've got the first half, 112 pages, the second half, 112 pages. Now I want to ask you a very important question right here. Which half did he read faster? Sergio reads the second half of the book half as fast as the first half. So this part was 2 times faster. This part took him longer. What happened? This one took him longer to read. That's very important. He read the first half 2 times faster. Maybe he got sleepy on the second half and he slowed down his reading. But for whatever reason, the second half went slower. It went half as fast. So let's focus right here just a minute. This one I can work with because they tell me, and you, that on the first half of the book, Sergio read 4 pages per minute. That's pretty good. 4 pages per minute. And we know that he had to read 112 pages. So let's solve this proportion. We're going to say 1 times 112 is 112, of course. And then that 112 divided by 4, use your calculator if you need it, it's going to be 28 minutes. Okay. So it took him 28 minutes to read the first half of this book. And this half of the book took him twice as long. So I'm going to say 2 times 28. That's 56 minutes it took for the second half. So the first half was 28 minutes. The second half was 56. So for this one, I like answer D. Number 19 is 56 minutes. You could easily find how long it took him to read the whole book by combining those 2 amounts. But they wanted to know about the second half, so I'm going to go with that 56 minutes. And finally, number 20. The table shows the number of kilometers Mallory hikes per day. What is the average number Mallory hikes per day? So they're wanting us to find an average. And I can do that right here. An average always works the same way, and sometimes it's called a mean. The word mean and the word average mean the same thing. So I would say 29 plus 21 plus 24 plus 20 plus 26. So I'm adding up the 5 days. And because there are 5 days, I will divide by 5. So using your calculator, let's do these adding. 29 plus 21 plus 24 plus 20 plus 26 is 120. And 120 divided by 5 is 24. So she hikes 24 kilometers a day on average. Some days it's more than the average, some days it's less. But the average mean amount is 24. Okay, thank you for joining me for these problems. These are Not easy problems, but they are good test questions. So this is a video that you really want to make sure you understand very well. Remember that you can check with your instructor if you have questions or if you need help with these. And I will see you in the next video. I'm not sure. It may be the chapter review. I believe it is. So we will review the skills we've learned and then move on to a new unit, which I believe is measurement. So I'll see you soon, and I hope you have a really good day. Bye-bye.